Good day and welcome back to Elementary 72 Gaming. Now I'm in the middle of having this massive behemoth spawn in, and I really like the way it looks. Now, unfortunately, one of the heavy things is the fact that I'm running a bit low on food. I've been jumping servers to move items around. I find it to be a little bit faster, and you know, that is just the way that things ended up going for me. Now, obviously, it isn't the most fair thing, and I've been jumping to other servers to get things made. So things are really unfair on my side for the way the game is playing. I'm actually in the wrong spot. There's a cart sitting here in the middle of the open area. So here's exactly where the unfairness comes. I lost the seed for the farms, so I have actually cheated, right? So these materials are cheated materials at this point. Um, I've calculated the amount of time it would have taken with how long it was taking me in the previous runs, even though I was jumping to and from. And I've just decided to instantly have them smelted instead of going through the entire long process of jumping to my server, sitting for an hour, gathering up a couple thousand coal, bringing it back, smelting everything, jumping back onto the server, and going around in a circle forever and ever and ever. And to be honest, that was killing time. So now I'm a little bit faster, but I'm still far from complete. As you can see, once this inner layer comes up, it's done. And the reason why it happened, I'm not sure. Um, I had the seed saved in its numbers, and when I tried to spawn it again, it just disappeared on me. So I don't know what I did. I most probably accidentally removed server, and I didn't keep a copy of the episode where I found it. I've been searching for the same seed on about 100 or so videos, and I still can't find it. So sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I was gonna give it to you guys because that is a real good seed for finding your iron, and it's okay. To be honest, it's a very very big distance. But the thing about it is you've got um, double mines most of the places, double crypts that are very close together. It's not my original server. My original server does have close, but not like this. This one here had such a close rating and such a good. Oh, there's it finally, and such a good amount of materials that there's no way you can deny that it is a good server to use. So yeah, as you can see, I've really overspawned. I'm really sorry about that. I know a lot of people think that you should be more fair with everything. Keep it clean, keep it fair to the general, and I tried my best. In the end, I couldn't keep up with the amount of time I was taking. So this base has some cheated materials. If it wasn't for that cheated materials, I probably would have completed most of it by mining with jumping cheats, but it's still using cheats nonetheless, as you can see. To be honest, I do think that some of these servers are a little bit short on resources. Being able to build like this here is something which a lot of players want to do. I've seen it a lot. Most of the people who are still around are the builders. So yeah, you definitely have a lot of people who will prefer to build with legitimately gained resources, and the amount of time it takes to gain the resources isn't worth the amount of effort being put in. Because if you think about it, I'm going to travel across a massive map which takes me about 2 hours to go across. Then I have to worry about facing off against all the Draugr, all the blobs. I have to make food, which is another killer aspect of jumping across to another server. Okay, I'm still making food, but not in the same quality that I would just to raid a swamp. I don't have to make resistance potions because I have enough food to actually prevent myself from instantly being killed by a slime's poison or a Draugr or anything for that matter, so nothing is really going to catch me. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, here's where the base is. I'm actually going to put this up, and then after I put it up, I'm actually going to jump up onto the roof and show you what the rest of the base is looking like at this moment. Now, in case you didn't notice, this base is really pulling up to all new levels in terms of how big it is. It's about to smack through another boundary, if I say so myself. It won't connect. There's it. That's the limit of where that can go. So I'm just going to have to move the forge a little bit forward. I don't understand why the lower level forge doesn't kick in here. I'm honestly really shocked at that. To be honest, all of the smelting in the past would have taken me days, if not more, just to get everything right and in place. I know that it doesn't look like it takes that long, but most of the time while I'm busy building, there's a ton of resources in the smelter. And when I'm busy doing that, I actually choose not to make episodes because it's a bit crazy to listen to that drop and the smelting sounds all the time. It got on my nerves, to be honest. So I figured I'd just drop it from the actual footage. So yeah, that's the reason for that being gone. Oof, this is such a long ball. Nah, I can't put in. So then all I've got to do is go back here, put in one of these. Wait, I should have contact to this side. Oh, okay, I'm shocked at that. Now there is a reason why I'm still leaving this all on this side, so far away from the main section, if you would consider it to be that. The reason is quite simple. If I leave them in that section, as soon as I need to repair, I don't have to move or put another station up quickly just to repair my hammer. I realized that just using some wood, excess wood that you have around is way easier, and it ended up helping me quite a bit throughout most of the build. I'm not the best when it comes to this at the moment. I'm really feeling the struggle on building something this big. I wouldn't advise many people to actually take it on unless you have a lot of free time, because to be honest, the amount of work that went into this place. Whew. Let's see. Stone mining, I think there's about, just striking those big rocks, the big ones inside the plains, taking out those towers. I think I've spent about 2 hours a piece just to get a few thousand of them, and I did that better. I made 20,000. So you can imagine that's 10 times that figure, 10 hours just to get stone. Then on top of that, there's iron, which is just about the same in terms of time usage. I know I made that mistake. So yeah, this base is an incredibly heavy one. It's not meant for everybody. I guarantee you this isn't something that everybody can take on as a build. I know that after doing it for so many days that this build isn't enough fun to say this is something you should try in the game. If you were to try this, you're 100% legit. Now that's no jumping service to move metal around. That's no doing any of that, going with a boat for every single one of these transports. You're not going to enjoy this. This is going to take you something in the range of a month to just move around. And beyond that month, just to move around, there's still other tasks which I haven't even scratched in this description of this base. So if you think this is difficult, the next problem is breaking and reassembling, because at some point you end up with floors which don't sit in the right positions, and they're not providing support. So you have to break down all of that hard work, restart from the bottom, come up to a certain point, and keep going from there, piece by piece, until you finally made something worthwhile. Sorry about that. I'm actually moving to this side right now. I need to fill up this area as well, because if I don't fill this in, it's going to be another disaster for me. Wood isn't such a difficult material to gather, but when you need it in these quantities, oh my, oh, to be honest, from collecting the core wood, which is over 1,000 needed just to support that plant stock, wait, I think it's near 20,000. That wood is sitting in this roof right here. There's the core wood. That's the remainder from the first half. All that is freshly harvested wood. That's freshly harvested wood. And I'm still not yet done inside the room because there's still the chests to build. And I already know how far I want to go with those chests. I don't want to just build some easy chests. I want to make massive behemoth chests. So yeah, let me just give you a quick hint on what I was doing with that. Now, obviously, this base is far from finished. So let me just jump down. I do have enough help to do that, yeah. I do have quite a bit of food left, and I'm running short. Okay, so this was actually supposed to be a surprise for you guys. I was going to show it to you after the base was done. And yeah, the base has started to lag due to size. And yeah, here's what I started working on. And it failed because, as you can see, I can put a row of boxes and a second row, but I can't do a third because the moment I try to put a third, it just keeps bouncing off and basically showing that it's in the roof. So I have to come up with another style to actually reset these. There's a lot in here. This was all built in my initial phase when I'm testing what I can do. And I'm going to actually come back in here, strip out all of these back units and see if I can put one unit line on the top, then put another unit line here at the middle area, then put these in at a lower level and see if that actually balances it. If that can work, then I'll do that for all my bases, and they'll have all of these reinforced chests. And with reinforced chests, that's a bonus on what is on top. It's neater because you've got bigger chests. You have way more storage space. Let me just show you quickly. As you can see, it's a 6x4, which is more than what I originally thought it was. And with that little extension to 6x4, that means if I had to put stone in here, 6x4 is let's see, 6 times 4 is 24. That's over 1,200 stone per box. 1,200. That means one trip to my cart with one of these. That's how simple it would be, and I could fill up way more resources in a base than if I use just the regular chests. However, this is very expensive. I'm just going to show you what half of this here will cost. No, I can't jump down from there. I actually set those things in already. So yeah, this base is absolutely to the max of where you should build. This is just half of what you need. As you can see, that is 48, and you have to double that, and then you can times it by however many chests there's going to be in that row. You know, it's crazy. So yeah, I went through all of this. I'm still going to complete testing that, because if I can get the reinforced chests over the simple ones, it means things become so much better. They look so much better in terms of their spacing taking up the exact same. Oh, I've got metal on me. How much metal do I have? 19 units. Okay, let me just drop it in here. I don't see any reason why this is going to be a problem at the moment, so yeah, let me just put it in. I've admitted I really dropped low with this. It takes way too long to farm in this game, and building these big structures with the limited resources, the quick breaking of the pickaxes, it's not really fun enough, and the amount of risk needed to get just a little bit of metal may be too steep for some areas. And I'm just being honest. If you look at the base from here, this is where things look really, really smart. Just look at this top level. It may seem like it isn't that grand. Actually, the area I want to take you to is right in front, but you'll see the reason why it's so grand to be up this high. Ah, Havek's tower isn't showing, but nonetheless, this place is magnificent. Honestly, I can't wait to put on the final part of the roof, which is going to be a slight extension. And once that is in, I hope that everybody absolutely enjoys this base, because this base has taken tons out of me. And to be honestly doing this is really, really tiring, because it's taken some sleepless nights, to be honest, to get this far, and I'm still nowhere near complete. And there's still going to be even more sleepless nights added to this to get this up to the final level. Then I have to go into each room and block up the ceilings, because I don't intend to leave the ceilings like this. I feel that they're a bit too open and vulnerable, and I want to knock them out with that cover layer on the roof, because these roofs are huge. Trust me, you don't want to even try running up. Let me just see if I can run up. Nah, yes, there it is. Yeah. I love looking down from these heights. This is as high as my other base is total. That is how high it is from the ground. This is as big as the base is in the King of Dragons base. And this I'm going to label the Emperor of Dragons. As you can see from the top, it just looks unbelievably cool to see the structure that goes in. And that structure is also going to come up on the second floor. I actually want to show you what it looks like before I fill it up with stone. So I'm going to go and I'm going to actually lay out an entire grid on the top. That grid's only one purpose at that point is to hold up the bottom structure. Then I'm going to pull up all of the walls, pull up the entire roof to its central point. Now the inner roof here, the outside roof on the top, is on the outside of the pillars, so there's no place to land and then climb up, because I wanted to have that feeling that everything is covering the base from that point forward. And hopefully, once all of this is done, you'll be able to really appreciate the craziness of this world. Standing on that rooftop, I was looking at Havak's tower the other day. I think I reduced the settings when the lag started. Now, this base lags a lot because it's taking up a lot of space. If you're looking at it carefully, this base is bigger than what most people would ever imagine for anything they have. And so far, nobody has actually stood up to say that they have a bigger base. And I really want to see a bigger base than this. This base already can do more than most bases can. Once I put in all of the defenses around the space in the form of windmills, it's going to be absolutely unassailable, because you're going to have windmills chopping people, you're going to have windmills chopping other items around the base, and that is going to be the best part about it. It is a finale base, basically. For most people, this is what you would dream about having for a group of people. I'd say to undertake this safely, you need a server with about 10 people on it all the time. You need to rush out, you need to gather up all your resources. You're going to need stone. You definitely need a lot of stone. Let's see. That corner alone is 30,000 stone. This corner that I'm standing on is 40, so that's 70. And the other two corners are 20,000 apiece. The extended base is another 10,000. So 80 plus 40, that's what you need for just building up the base as it is right now. It's a crazy figure. And I think I might run out of stone before this final part in the center is finished. So I'm going to estimate an additional 10,000 required. And if you count that total from start to end, That means that this base requires almost 100,000 stone. Now, on top of that, each one of these roofs take up 1,500 wood. That's including the reinforcement and all of the building needed to get to the top to build in the roof. 1,500 by 4, that's going to give you your total for each of these buildings. A solid 6,000 wood on the estimation. The next thing is the reinforcement that goes in the middle. The middle section uses about 200 wood per section, 200 times 5, because that's what it is, so 1,000 per level. So another 2,000. Then I'm going to come up to the top floor, which is going to use just as much as the bottom floors, if not double. So most probably about another 4,000 wood. And then is your iron count. And you're not gonna like how heavy this base is on iron. Each one of the four corners takes about 300 iron just to get it reinforced to the rooftop. So that's 300 times 4, that's 1,200. Each one of the sections that make up the middle take up about the same. So when you count it as the full 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 2, that's 10. 10 times 150, 1,500 in addition. Plus, there's going to be the roof, which could be even double any one single floor. uh, yeah, you're really looking at a phenomenal figure. This base most likely would take you a few weeks of resource gathering before you can even start building it. And if you're thinking of storing all of this in just regular boxes, to build up the box wall on one side in my base took me almost 2 days. And it's 10 boxes, 4 high, that's 40. That is a massive count of wood on its own. So if you had to build a base like this with the full team and you wanted to store everything, it would be easier to use reinforced boxes for the start, because you don't have to do each one in an individual box. You actually fill in 1 1/4 with each box. No, 2 1/4 with each box. So each box that you put up does a big amount down for you. So once you have everything in, there you go. Actually, more than a quarter. It would be 2 2/5. Yeah, 2 2/5 of a box to each box. And when you put two together, you're getting four and something. And if you had two of the regular boxes in its place, that's way less. So yeah, that's a good idea for you to build. Keep building with the big boxes instead of the small boxes. I know that's a lot of pine wood to start with, but it will be worthwhile because you're going to move it into the castle once you have the room up. And workstations for this, I suggest having all your workstations right around your base, because running to and from Havoc's base to here was very tiring in the start. And now that I have that workstation underneath, it did really improve the speed that I was working at. And if I had even more incorporated, it would be a lot easier. I really love this base. It's a real challenge, but overall it taught me that there's nothing impossible about these games. And if you want to see an even bigger, more incredible build, I'm going to show you Phoenix's base. I'm not sure if he has his builds on YouTube, but when you see that base, you're going to see what I think was one of the biggest, most challenging things a person could do. He raised his base multiple floors up. I think 6 floors off the ground, 6 double floors off the ground, which is way more than you could do even doing my method of reinforcement. I think I could put on another 2 floors at the maximum, and my base would start crumbling everywhere, uh, whether or not I reinforced every single section of the floor. That's how bad it is when you go too high. And he's gone even higher than me. His roof is phenomenal. I don't know how he managed to make such a good looking roof. I don't know how he managed to keep that cylinder shape around his towers. But yeah, that's the gist of what can be built. And yeah, I'm really enjoying myself with most of this build. And when it is done, I am looking forward to doing it up afterwards. That's going to take its own sweet time. I'm really, really burnt out with the game that I've played here. That's how come I'm going to do more Tower of God. So I hope that you all do enjoy that little bit anime review. Actually, not an anime, web comic review. I intend to do the entire series, then I intend to dive into some of the lore, then I intend to dive even further into the story and give you an A class finisher to an A class series. So I hope that you all enjoy as I go along with all of this. Catch you all in the next one.